Today on Peaking, I'm joined by Nikki Kaushik, co-founder and chief product officer of Quantik, who has one of the most fascinating journeys in tech and entrepreneurship I've talked with so far. Her story spans continents, industries, and plenty of 3 a.m. problem-solving sessions. She moved from India to the U.S., found herself immersed in the fast-paced world of the restaurant industry, an experience that sparked the idea for Quantik's cloud-based point-of-sale system that is now expanding internationally. In this conversation, we dig into how immigration fuels innovation, what it takes to build tech for one of the toughest industries out there, restaurants, why customer support is as important as the software itself, the challenges and joys of running a family business, and how AI is about to transform how restaurants operate at the point of sale. Her energy and love for her work shine through, whether she's coding features, supporting customers, or planning the next big move for Quantic. If you're curious about restaurant tech, entrepreneurship, or how to turn lived experience into a thriving business, you won't want to miss this episode. Please enjoy. Nikki, welcome to Peaking.
Hey, Wyatt, how are you?
I'm doing so good. I just got back from Cleveland, actually. Had an appointment at the Cleveland Clinic. Longer story there, but very cool city. Honestly, I feel like I need to get that out there. Cleveland is ripe for revitalization, very clearly
Okay.
empty. Nobody on the roads, completely empty, but the infrastructure is all there. So,
Great,
highly
great. I've
recommend.
never been there. I've never been there.
Yeah, if you're thinking about opening up a office somewhere, it might be a place for some
Quiet
cheap
place.
office space. Yeah.
That's true.
Awesome. So you are the co-founder and CPO of Quantic. Very interested to know more about the company and more about your story. You started in India, right? You started your career in India and then moved to the United States back in the early 2000s.
Yes, absolutely. So that's right. We moved here in 2001, long time ago. Almost the same age that I spent in India, I spent here as well, looks like. But yeah, so that was quite a journey. We started as a software professionals. We both were the software professional working in the software company. I was from the, software development perspective. I was working on the programming side, but my husband was working on the database management side. So we bring kind of both the sides of the software development.
Awesome. And how did you choose the United States for your final destination?
Oh, that's a good question. So actually, my husband came here with Priceline. At that time, the Priceline, it was booming, right, in 2000s. So he came here for the project and we got married. So I came with him, along with him, and that's how we started our career here.
Awesome. Yeah, I worked in Munich for a year, and they have the EU has the blue card system, similar to the H1 visa system. If you come with Priceline, that might be a different visa. Actually, I'm not sure if that would be the H1 if it's a transfer
So it
within the
was
company.
H1. It was H1, and then I had to wait for some time to start working because I needed the visa as work visa as well. But yeah,
So
so
you
that's
would
how
have
we
been on the
started.
H4. Is that still current, or
Yes,
is that
that's right.
that was the
Oh no, no.
whoa?
Yeah, it was for some time. I mean, now we are citizen anyways, but for some time you'll have to wait. Okay.
Um,
I will say one thing that America is a country of dreams, fulfilling your dreams for sure, and a lot of opportunities right here. So I really like what we have accomplished so far. It's tremendous, success that we have achieved, both of us. So I'm very happy
that's
to be
amazing.
here.
Yeah, awesome. And the company building experience you've had, it looks like three times now, two tech companies, one consulting, Quantic, and then a restaurant. So how did you get into the restaurant business?
So that's a very funny story because what was happening, we both were working day and night, on the software side of it, even if we are not working from the work side of it, but then we were doing something on the side and kind of like, getting bored sitting in front of the laptop because it's not fun. So, and my husband is foodie, so he always used to think, you know what, there should be a restaurant where people want to go and have fun, the ambience, and vibe in there along with the good food. So we kind of started the restaurant adventure. And I'm a very bad cook, so nothing to do with the cooking at all. And getting into this is the hardest business I can think of. Restaurant is not the easy one, and it's not everyone's cup of tea, and you can't. I mean, I have done it for almost 5 to 6 years, but it uh, took a toll on me basically because with the young kids, like 2, 3 year old, two kids with me, and I was not there full time. I was a part operator, but again, there's a lot of things that goes in the operations of the restaurant. Knowing nothing of that industry and getting into the restaurant, it was kind of an adventure, but we learned it all. So that was awesome. That's something we never knew, but we learned, and we were quite successful. We came in one of the top 20 restaurants in the area and everything. There was a lot of achievement that we did successfully with the restaurant. But then we started kind of, getting into the issues with the point of sale because it was the legacy point of sale. So what happened was we were not able to run the reports from home, and I don't want to drive in the night to run the reports and see how much we did today with the kids, and also kind of, it was very terrible at that time that you don't know what you're doing, how much you're making until you go back the next day to the restaurant. So that was the time where the legacy point of sale were there. There were no cloud based. So we moved into the cloud-based point of sale, and that was a very new concept at that point. It was very early stage of the cloud-based point of sale in 2010. I'm talking about, and we got the cloud POS in the restaurant, but then we started having so many different issues with the printing of the kitchen tickets, and we were having the e-commerce. We were not having a kind of like a comprehensive or a cohesive solution to run the restaurant. So that's where we started working on our own application and developing it for the point of sale.
No way. So did you go full time into restaurant operations,
So kind of, I
or
was
you were
still
a
working
mom?
on this, yes, mom, and then also I started the Phonics. If you have seen my another adventure that I did, that was more into the website designing and consulting. So I did that on the side along with the, restaurant, but then slowly and slowly moved into the more into restaurant. And after 2 years, when we started writing our own application, then I moved back again into the software. So there was a lot of hassle going on at that point of time, and it became at certain point that I cannot do both the things. And even my husband, who was consulting at that time, he's like, you know what, let's decide what we want to do at this point because kids, restaurant, and software, it was too much. So we decided to close down the restaurant. I think after 5 or 6 years. And that's where, because we got already into the POS, and that is another story. Because what happened, we opened another second location with our own point of sale, and people started liking it. Even the customer who used to come see the point of sale on the iOS, I mean the iPads at that point of time was very new. So they were very eager to see, oh, what kind of point of sale is this, which has, iPads, the servers loved it. So we thought to bring that, MVB product basically to the market. And that's where we started launching it, and we got our first client from there.
So you closed the restaurant, you didn't sell it to another owner?
Yes, we did one of them, but the other one was just because it was close, ending the lease and all. So we thought, you know what, rather just close it down. You don't want to put your, two things on the, you don't want to sail on the two boats because sometimes it's very difficult. You need to make the decision what you want to do. And we saw, a lot of potential in the point of sale. Restaurant was never our niche. If you think about it, we came from the software. So as soon as I
Yeah, it was
get
a
into
fun
the again
project.
software, I was like, okay, this is what what we wanted, and we both loved it. So we decided not to move on to the, continue with the restaurant, rather just, work with the point of
In
sale.
the nerd world, they call that a side quest.
Yeah. Yes, you can think that.
Your side
So
quest.
that was the
Awesome. So
whole
you moved into
journey.
point of sale. Obviously, everyone's point of sale now is Clover, Square, or one of those big
Cloud-based.
ones.
Mhm.
Um, what? That's not Quantic, right?
No, that's
That
not
was your
Quantic.
that was your past company, yes, of course.
Mhm.
So talk about that journey.
So starting with the Quantic.
The point of sale system, yeah. So you were
Hmm.
building, obviously competing with these other startups and big companies, and you had a
Hmm.
product that people liked. You had a customer. Uh, how did that company building go? And then we'll get to Quantic.
Sure. So that's what it is, basically, Quantic, which we built. That time we used to call it with another brand. Now, then we rebranded it. So what happened was because when you are using the system for yourself, you don't know how the other users are going to use. You're just thinking at that point of time your own business operation of restaurant. This is how the point of sale works. But when you bring that MVP product to the market, that's where you start thinking this is not scalable. This is something that we should have thought a little bit more in detail and about the scalability before putting it in the market. So we kind of, after when we have few clients, we started thinking that there is some issue because of the scalability, and we started seeing some cracks in the product itself. Like, oh, we could have done this way to make it better for the users. And the more users you put in any software, that's where you have to understand the potential of the product as well. So we started kind of, getting into the scalability issues and performance issues. So we decided after 2 years to rewrite the whole code, rebuild the architecture, understand how we can leverage it in different platforms, because now we wanted to not only have the iPad or the iOS based point of sale, we wanted to have in the Android version as well. So it's a cross-platform cloud-based system. So we kind of worked very hard. I know it was not an easy journey when you have to scratch off something and then start from again. It's a waste of time and energy, but that was the only way, because when you want to bring thousands and thousands, now we have more than, multiple thousands of, customers on the software, then you don't want to have the scalability issue. So the expansion we were not thinking about at that time, but when we rewrote everything, we thought about like how we are going to, have it in a way where we can board as many merchants as we want and we don't have to look back. So it took us some time. Then we again rebuilt the architecture, rebranded it as Quantic, and again launched it around 2018. That's where we
How
did.
long did you have to deliberate on rebuilding it from scratch?
So we still had the merchants. It's not that we pulled it off from the market. So we were selling it, but selling it at a very slow growth. And but it took us more than a year to rebuild it, because we already have that knowledge now. It's not
Yeah.
something new that we were building. So kind of, we expedited it. But yeah, one and a half year we took it to again rebrand it.
How long did you debate internally about doing the full reconstruction, though?
So it's not sometimes that you only think yourself, but it's what the users, the challenges that they are facing. So when you start hearing those challenges, you don't want your customers to be upset, because that's the product you are relying on. You left everything behind because this is the potentially the business that you want to work on, right? If you started any thing on the wrong foundation, or the foundation is not strong enough, you cannot go a long way. You have to see that, progress, as well as a long lasting progress, just by, having that product that you want to distribute has to have that potential, has to have that all features, the performance that the users need. So that's very important, and that's where we started hearing complaints about it a little bit, and we are like, no, we cannot, upset our customers, because our customers are everything for us, and that's where we decided to do it.
And why did you felt that the product was changing enough to just rebrand everything as a company as well?
Yes and no, because the company is still the same name. the company name, but it's just the DBA that we changed, and then we rebranded so there is a lot of rebranding for sure. The logo, the color of the website, like there was a lot about the rebranding that we did and the marketing efforts. But not only that, actually, what happened after a couple of years, we also started into the white labeling the solution. So it's not just the Quantic. We sell it as a platform. Platform is POS, right? So what we do is that we sell it to the white label partners, and the white label partners have their own brand. So we have now more than 30 brands out in the market in the whole US. So, with the white labeling solution, you need to understand that your product is feasible enough to customize according to your white label partners as well. So, that's where we kind of have that mindset that this is not only what we are selling directly, because we don't sell directly, we sell through the resellers or we sell it through the white label partners. So, we wanted to understand from their perspective what they need. So, it's highly customizable solution and the platform that we have developed.
What would be an example of that type of arrangement?
So
You're
it's like if you think of Quantic POS, but there are white label partners who sell it as their own, like ABC, you can think of ABC POS. But the Intel inside, if you can think of, is the same as the Quantic. So the infrastructure, the
you each have a bunch of
functionality and features,
resellers,
yes.
and they
So they sell
sell
it
a
as their own.
premium. Is it often that they sell the POS in a suite of other things that they're also offering?
Yeah, yes and no, because now it's their own brand. They want to focus on that because that's their whole thing that they want to, get into the market too. And also, it's not just the point of sale. When we are developing, we are also thinking about it, how we can bring it as an ecosystem. It's not just the POS, it's a whole ecosystem. So think about the point of sale on iOS and Android, then think about the e-commerce solution, because when the restaurant, and we are not only in restaurant, we are now 70-30, with 70 as restaurant and 30 as retail as well. So then you have to bring the e-commerce because they have to have an online presence. Then you have to have a kitchen displays. Then you have to have a customer display. So there's a lot different small apps that goes around it. So it's a whole ecosystem that we have built, for them to sell it.
And what was the decision behind having those resellers and white labelers as opposed to selling directly?
I think it was the decision to grow exponentially. And when you have to grow at that rate, you need more feet in the market, right? It's not just, a couple of sales agent can make a big difference. You need to capture the whole market. You need the growth. You need the presence in every state in the country. So I think that was our main focus at that point, how we can expand without expanding our own team, rather just, have others sell it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what are just company building product pillars type question here? What are some guiding principles that influence the way you've built Quantic?
I think it was mostly dependent on the learning that I have from running the restaurant itself. So learning as a user myself, but also learning from the real users. So we have kind of very nice relationship with all our resellers, white label partners, and the merchants we started with. It was very close relationship. We used to, talk to them, have meetings, and understand their pain points, because you don't want to give the solution just for the sake of it. You want the solution which solves their problem. And we solved our own problem when we built it for ourselves. So we wanted the solution to solve their problem. So we learned a lot from all our resellers in now and white label partners, because they are the front line. They understand what their merchants need. So that's the basic principle of the company, that we want to bring those changes in the system or customize it that helps their business operation. It's not that I want this feature to be in the system, but if it's not helpful to the merchants or to our clients, it doesn't matter. So that's very important, and kind of like easy software. These days, everybody needs easy to use software, and UI, UX has to make sense and very easy for people to, get trained as well, because restaurant is like, people are in and out a lot. So you need to have the software where you don't have to, deal with the different trainings or, lo long-lasting trainings for your employees as well. Then we have, it's like again, I'll go back to the customization. That's our principle as well. We don't want to, you need to have a flexibility. When you build anything, you cannot be rigid that this is what I have and these are my features. I believe that what we do is depending on our partners because this is where they are seeing the potential to sell more. So they go in the field and they see that there is a challenge they cannot sell because the other competitors are having this. They come back to us, they talk to us and tell us like, oh, you know what? I think we need to bring this in, the software. So based off that, sometimes our product roadmap doesn't stay the same. It keeps on changing because now we have to think about how big the deal is that our resellers or the partners are going to get out of it. So we kind of prioritize and shift our priorities according to those, requests.
So you are doing all the tech changes on your end. The resellers aren't doing the implementation or the customization. You're doing that?
Right. So there are two parts to it. One is like if their software has a customization in the sense like if it is at the coding level. So if you're changing something, adding a new feature, let's say inventory control, right? So you want to scan the UPC, you want to add that UPC or the item in the system. That change they cannot do. What they can do is they can change, settings, the configurations of the system. So that comes under the implementation. So the partners, yes, they do implement and deploy the software. But as far as the features, functionality of the software or adding new products, that comes back to us.
Awesome. How do you find the competitive landscape to be in the POS world?
It's huge. So you won't believe it has been, I don't know how many years we have been developing, but there's no end to it because the more and more companies are coming in the POS market, right? But at the same time, people are getting into, AI, getting into a lot of, different reporting, business intelligence. They need all this. So there is no end to it because you always see, okay, this thing or this feature is coming in the other POS. I think this is valuable thing and our customers need it. So we have to implement or we have to deploy that. So there is always, the need. And I keep on telling, whenever we have the meetings with the partners, I feel like, okay, maybe this is it. After this, we don't have to develop on, that high pace. But again, suddenly 10 more features requests will come. So I have seen this point of sale is never ending development. And I love it because that's what I do on every single day basis. I really like when I get up and go to the office, I love to see and excited, okay, what new we can do. Because you don't want the growth to be stagnant. You want it to be, exciting, something exciting every day.
Of course. AI in e-commerce makes a lot of sense. Is AI touching the restaurant point of sale as well?
Yes, absolutely. So there is a few things that we are bringing in the market. We have not released it, so I would not talk a lot about it. But there is always like you think about the drive-through, you think about the takeout. There can be AI into it. So something you can always leverage. And also, that's not it. If you think about it, the reporting, the forecasting, the projections, everything needs kind of not the AI in the sense of like you are having a robots or anything, but the artificial intelligence in the sense of the business reporting. So think from that perspective, there's always so much that you can bring in the system that helps the business owners. You don't have to think, okay, last year during the Mother's Day, was my sale that much that I have to have that many this many number of servers, or should I change accordingly? So that there is always an intelligence that you can always add into the system to help the users.
Yeah, some predictive assistance,
Predictive. Yep,
basically.
yep, yep.
I have a kind of going back to your comment about cloud-based point of sale system. I have a buddy in the liquor business, and he has a liquor store. And anytime we're together, his liquor store is still open. He's just not
Huh?
working, and he's just always
Uh-huh.
on the app, updating, looking at how many sales.
You need to point it to us because we do sell a lot of liquor to the liquor stores. So you won't believe one of our partners is specifically in liquor stores. All they sell is just to the POS to the liquor store. And I like it because there's a lot of, intelligence that you need in the reporting aspect of the liquor store for sure. And especially around the inventory. I know, so you might be on the so we have an analytics app for the business owners. And I wish when I was running the restaurant, it at that time if I have something like that, that will be amazing. So our analytics app shows us as a business owner, you can see what are the open orders, how much are you doing, how much you are, projecting in next hour or so that really helps
Awesome.
that.
It's called the Argonaut Wine and Liquor in Denver. Shout out Josh Robinson, Argonaut. If you're in Denver, get your liquor at Argonaut.
I think that partner of ours is also in that area because there is some state regulations as well. So we did some customization there to bring the data, and sending it to the whatever the requirement is of the state.
Yeah, Colorado is pretty interesting. They only allow a certain amount of licenses per company, so the big chains can't sell liquor and wine every single store they have. They can only sell in like separate stores. They're trying to
That's
protect
right.
the smaller businesses. And then obviously Utah is a whole different story. All the state-run liquor stores, it's crazy. I was just in Utah, and it's just literally state liquor store on there. It's like communism.
That's thinking. Yeah, that's what
Why?
I'm thinking because in that area or those states, I think that's where they are selling because it's more state controlled. I
Yeah.
believe that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Talk about your customers. So, what are some common questions you get asked on sales calls before prospects commit to signing up with Quantic, or perhaps with your reseller and the actual end user? What are some questions that they're asking when considering your product over Square or Clover?
hmm Okay, so I can tell you right away about that because that's the first question most of the prospects or the leads when they come to us or to our resellers that they ask is what about your support system? Like how do you support your users? How is your support department? Are they available all the time? I feel like in this day and age where people are too much into, software, so the applications, so there's certain things that they are, dealing with on everyday basis, you need the support as well. So that support is very, very important, especially in the POS world. And you won't believe we have won so many deals from the big competitors as well, just because they are not happy with their support. They say there is nobody there to listen to them. And I know we have been growing, we have so many clients, but our focus has always been the customer. The customer support, which I know when we were using the POS, how terrible it was. And on weekend, I was not able to get hold of somebody in support. It was just ringing and getting busy tone and I was put on hold for hours and hours and my system was not working. So I feel that pain. And that was our main thing that we will not leave our customers struggling or having the challenges during any business operation because what happens is you're running the business. You don't want one extra, a struggle or the issue that you have to deal just because you are using the POS. It has to help them. It does not bring more issues for them or, create more, you know, uh, kind of challenge. So, but at the same time, what we do, so we tell all our, leads that it's 24 by 7 and weekends, weeknights, so we have a support and in like you can talk to somebody on the phone. It's not like AI that you have to, keep on changing the options of the support and then somebody is not just having on the chat and not helping you. We have a personal support. I mean, when you call, there is a person who picks up the call. So we have a 24 by 7 support through phone, chat, and email. That's basically you can text as well. So this is one of the one of the things that we always want the deal against other competitors.
You would have to kind of have a lot of staff working Friday nights and Saturday nights then.
You have to be. You have to. But at the same time, it's not just the support calls are coming. And I know you cannot ignore or you cannot completely remove the issues from the software. So sometimes it can be just a network issue, or sometimes it's just I forgot my password. How do I do this and all that? But it's something that I always look up to. Since I'm in product development, it's not just my one department. I also look into the support because support and product goes hand in hand. If you are getting some calls, so kind of like, we investigate and we put a lot of effort and time and energy to understand what kind of calls are coming. How do we reduce that call volume? What needs to be in the system so that people are not kind of calling us again and again, how we can make it smoother. So when you are working in product and support together, you're able to understand what you need to put in the product in order to make it better. Because it's not that if your POS or your software is working well, you will not get that many calls as well.
Yeah, I mean it's the age-old story of talking to customers. Essentially, is what you're doing. You're if you're working with support, then you know what the issues the customers are having, and that's just paramount importance of building any product. If you have a network issue, do all your customers have the issue, or you have a ton of redundancies and
Mhm.
coverage for that?
So when I was talking about the network, it was their local network. So they need to have internet, they need to have a LAN if they're Ethernet connected and all. But our network does not matter because we have a redundancy. We have different zones. We have the data backup in different parts of the country and the world as well, since we are in different part of the world as well. So that's
So you're
important.
selling your systems internationally?
Yes, we do. We just expanded to UK and UAE. Since last year, 1 year, we have been in UK and UAE. We just started this January.
Wow, so you're just hunting down resellers, white labelers that will do the sales for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Incredible. What was that process like, finding the trusted partners, people that you want to work with?
So luckily, we get lots of international leads for becoming a white label partner or the reseller. I feel like there's a lot that we can do in that market. So we always get so many leads, but again, you have to do the due diligence. You have to see whether it works or no. And it's not that easy as well because there's a lot of different features, functionality in the system, and then the payment also because you need to interact or talk to the payment device. So whether you are, compatible with those devices or no. So, I mean, you have to do a lot of legwork, you can say, with the UK and UAE. When we launched initially, we spent a lot of time as a dev for the whole dev team. They worked very hard on it because there are certain rules that are different than US. Of course, it's a different country, so you have to make sure that localization is also there and all.
How big is your team, your dev team?
Uh, couple hundreds of people, and we have different offices. Have two in India, we have in Colombia, South America, we have in UK, we have in UAE, we have in Pennsylvania. Couple of different offices in different time zone.
And you're active as CPO. You're working with all of them all the time.
Yes. So my day starts very early because of
What's
the time zone.
are you a proud workaholic, or what are some strategies you use to manage that type of schedule?
I'm very workaholic. I am very, very much, and I love working day and night. If there's nothing else to do, I would be so happy that I have to just work. I love the times you won't believe when COVID was there because there was nothing else to do and I was working. But that's bad to say because for me it was fine because I just love to work. But sometimes it gets to a point. I mean, you shouldn't be that workaholic for sure. That's something, and since it's a family business you can think of. My husband and I both are co-founders. So that's not easy sometimes. Like I need to kind of balance out as well. That's needed always.
Is he a workaholic as well?
He is, but once he is back home, he wants to take some time because he likes balance in life. Sometimes it's not that always. So if he has to work, he will work. But if he don't have to, he will just leave the laptop. But for me, even like if I get a chance, I will like, let's just do something. And it's not because his work is different than my work. I can say that. Sorry. Because my work is continuous. Like you have to think about support. You have to think about product. His work, because he's a CEO, he has to work on the expansion. He has to work on, business expansion and all that. Uh, like globally as well and in US. So it's a different kind of department that he's handling. So that doesn't mean like you have to work in the night as well or you have to work very early morning. But yeah, I mean, we complement each other in that sense. So you need a little bit of a balance in life as well when you come back home.
Well, I mean,
So,
you definitely do, but if you're doing what you love, I mean, then you don't feel like you're working. And
oh,
so
yes.
it's a cheat code. Like people like
Yeah,
you have the cheat code for the game. You know, you enter in the code before you start, and you have an advantage because
I know.
you found what
I
you love to do.
No, absolutely. And this is what it is. Like anybody you take an example, if they have a passion and they love to what they do, they really excel in it because that's what they want to do, right? So I feel like that's for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. It's hard to, I think most people are just trying to find that. Like
Yes.
they would pay any amount of money to find that and to
What they
know
want. Yeah, that's
what
true.
they should be doing, what they would enjoy doing every single day.
Yeah.
I landed in recruitment. I didn't know I would be in it. I love talking to people. I love learning stories, and so it
Well
fits
done.
well, and that's why
Yes.
I've done well in it.
Yeah.
But I definitely have that thought in my head of like, what am I meant to be doing? I still don't really know that, and so
No, it happens with the students as well. Like when they go to the
yeah.
college, first year that sometimes they don't know as a freshman what they have to do, right? But slowly
Oh
and
yeah,
slowly they learn.
completely
So
lost.
yeah.
Our whole system, I mean, not to get into politics again, but man, signing up for your degree so early in life, you just have no idea. We have all these kids graduating with a degree and something they'll never
I know.
use.
I know, I know. No, of course, that's what it is. I mean, my both kids are in college. Actually, one already graduated, and our son graduated from University of Michigan, and he's back home. He has been working with us since he was in ninth grade, and now he's full time with us. So he always says that the more experience or the learning that you gain in the working in reality is way too different. You get more and more experience when you work, but
Oh yeah,
when you are studying, you don't get that real-time experience, no matter how much degree you can earn.
yeah,
So there
yeah.
is a difference.
The school experience is
It's
valuable for a portion of people, but definitely
yeah,
not all.
yeah.
So he's
I mean,
the
it's
heir
good to have.
apparent then. Your son is
Yeah.
he's headed up the ladder to take over.
Oh yes, he is already ready. He is director of software engineering in the company. So now I have a big help. We both work together because everything goes to the product. So it's fun. It's fun to work with him, and especially this new generation. I feel like, they come up with so many innovative ideas, things that you cannot think at sometimes at, our generation, but this generation is totally different. So it
Yeah.
brings a new, fresh perspective with new things in the product. It really helps.
And did he ever work in the restaurant?
No, no. He was very young at that time. They were like 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah, I didn't quite do the math. I didn't couldn't do the math fast enough to figure out how old he would be.
No, they were young, but they know everything, how it was. So they learned a lot, both of them, about how we, started with the business, how we kind of maneuvered it again to another, side of it. So it's good
Awesome.
learning experience.
Yeah, that's incredible. A family business is just the dream if you can make it work. I think a
Yes,
lot of
if
people
if
try
you
to
can make
force
it work.
making it work. Yeah, you don't want to force it because it can definitely go very bad too. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people say do not mix work and
Mm-hmm.
family, but if you can make it
Yes.
work, I think that's nice.
Absolutely. And you won't believe I get a lot of the times when we go to any parties or any events, the first thing people ask, how can you work with your husband for so long together? Like every single day you work and you go to office together. So I said, like, I feel like we complement each other a lot. And we have known each other, I think, last 27, 28 years. It's kind of like it's natural now. I don't even feel like I'm working with him because it's always been like since beginning, we have been always in some or the other project together. And I feel it's a strength. It's a strength,
Yeah.
and it's the, something we can think that success is based off that only because we are able to work together. And I feel blessed. I mean, we are happy to work together, and it's crazy that we go to the office same, both to the same office, come back again, then at home again. There's no way that we are in the different, places.
That's amazing. Are you able to go on vacations? The CPO, CEO, and director of software engineering would all be out of office.
Yes. So we do take vacation once or twice a year, not more than that. That's it. That's what we have. Like once a year, we'll go out for a week because we need that time off. And our team is really good. I would say that we are lucky to have the team that we have. In every front, there are people who take, kind of accountability. And, now at this point, because, when you're building something, you're bootstrapping the company, that's a different story. But now when you came so far, when you have, people around you who are able to help and understand the business, that helps a lot. So now we are able to kind of take a seat back a little bit. If we need to, if we have to go out, yes, we do go for vacation.
Do you see that as a potential future where you start to offload more, or you're very happy with the way things are?
We don't know about that. So I don't think so. My husband and I will ever retire. If we are not in this, might be doing something else because now our son is here, so he can take over and we can do something else. But we both will never retire. I
That's
don't think so.
awesome.
I can sit even 1 hour at home without work.
I just Ubered to the airport from our hotel in Cleveland, and the guy was a networking guy, and he
Uh-huh.
retired for 4 years, and he's just like, I watched all the movies I could, I played all the games I could, and I just didn't know what to do, so I started
I
driving.
know. That's good as well. You get to meet a lot of people.
Yeah, well, I think
Yeah.
retirement's not all it's cracked up to be if you are not used to or don't have
Yes.
something else you can dive into. You don't want to just do nothing. Like that just
I
doesn't work. That's
know.
not who
I
we
think
are.
if you are mentally and physically able to do it, do the work, um, until you're alive, I think you should.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's probably. I mean, you got to do something. Like you can get into nonprofit or something you're more, you're
So there
passionate
are a lot of
about. But
in plans, yes, for future that we have already planned, both of us. But we'll see as the time goes. But yeah, I'm
yeah,
excited to
awesome.
get into that as well.
So competition, how do you think about competition when building Quantic? Do you pay attention to competitors at all? You kind of mentioned one thing about AI features, other things that they're coming out with, but why or why not do you think about competition?
I think I love watching the competition because that's how you learn what's coming up, and it's not always a bad thing to watch the competition because you get to know it's exposure. It's exposure for everybody in the market. There are new hardware, coming up. There's new kind of functionality that can add to the POS. So it's just a learning, and the learning never stops. So I think it's a good idea to always think or look into what the other competition is doing in the market, and you want to bring that something in the product as well. And it's not just about the product, it's about, sometimes the pricing model as well, right? Because when you are dealing with the leads or prospects or your partners, you need to understand about your competition because they might be selling something else. If you're not aware of what the pricing model is, how will you base off your pricing model and compete in the market? So there's a lot of good things that you should always be aware of.
Your resellers might be selling a similar product, you're saying?
I mean, they know, right? There is a clover, there is a toast, there is a square. So and some of the resellers do, not the white label partners, but the resellers can sell anything. There is no exclusivity that you are going to sell only our product, right? So, because all these other POS also is getting, sold by all of these resellers too. They also sell it through the resellers.
Yeah, that makes sense. give some update on some wins or learnings from the past quarter or two, building any new hires, new feature rollouts, new logos, anything exciting that you guys have seen.
So the exciting part was last month was our hosting our own Quantic conference in Florida, Orlando. That was our first conference, and believe me, it was amazing. It was exciting, and it was something that we really are going to look forward to doing it on annual basis now because there was a lot of different partners that came in the conference. White label partners came, and there was a lot of product learning at that point. So it's good for everybody because sometimes miss some things if you are just remote, but meeting everybody in person, it really helps. Until now, we were kind of maintaining the low profile, but I think now is the time for us to have more visibility and kind of a recognition in the market because we have reached that stage. We don't want to keep into the low profile anymore. And yeah, that conference really helped us. So we announced different products in the new products that we are launching in the conference too. So people got very excited, all our partners, and they are just waiting. I told them that July we will be releasing a couple of things, and we already started seeing the calls coming and asking, okay, so when is it going to be released? So people are very excited about that. So I think that was our big, achievement last month, where it was something new for the company, but at the same time, it helped our partners.
Absolutely, that's amazing. Hosting your own conference. What made you get to the point where you made the decision where you can, we're big enough to host a conference?
I think it was our CEO, my husband's decision because he knows what he's doing with the sales, and now is the time for us to expand more and exponentially, basically. So he decided like let's do it and let's see how people like it. And it was like we had to stop the registration. We were oversold. So at some point we had to stop it because there was not that much capacity right there. So that was very exciting to hear. So it was all his efforts.
Amazing. I usually have a final question about peaking. The point of the podcast or the name of the podcast comes from, reaching these pinnacles and just having the best time at something. But it sounds like the most recent peak would be probably on the stage of that conference talking about your new features coming out.
Yes, absolutely. That was the most excited moment of my life because there were so many things that I always wanted to share, but there was no platform where you are there and all the partners are there and you're just telling them all at once what is going to be next. Because in our industry, it is always what's next? What are we bringing? How? Because it's not that we have a direct sales channel, right? So all our partners are looking more tools so that they can sell in the market, right? So they are looking for, okay, what's new product that we can sell, that we can offer, which new vertical we can go into. So we just recently, this is what I announced is the vertical we are launching now in next 1 or 2 weeks is for the professionals. Basically, the invoicing platform for the professionals like HVAC repair, lawn mowing, gardening, and all kind of those professionals. So we just did the invoicing platform where they can send the invoices, estimates, recurring subscriptions. So that's the new product that's coming up.
Just building, 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 building.
Yes.
Oh,
We started with restaurant, then we moved into the retail, now in the professional services. Let's see what's next year.
yes, very impressive. Awesome. I don't have any more questions. Anything else you wanted to discuss or talk about in your company building journey?
No, it was quite a journey, and I'm
Sounds like you're
very
just getting started.
yes, it will always be like that. But that time when we, bootstrap the company, it was not easy. So, I mean, that's the time where anybody who is looking into, entrepreneurship, that's where you have to have a lot of strength and, patience, persistence, to keep on going no matter what happens. That's very, very important. I feel like that's what is, break or make things because at some point people can do it enough, but you have to keep on struggling and, you have to be strong. That's the, main goal if you really want to be successful in any of the business. And I feel lucky with the kids as well here. Both the kids really help. I'm happy that our daughter is not in the business though. She she is defining her own path. So that brings at least out of four, one person is out of the business and not involved in it all the time.
Yeah, you need to
But
diversify a little.
yes, you have to. You need that perspective, and it's good to have that. And that's where I feel like different perspective in the product itself. It's always good to have all that kind of thinking or mindset in there. But yeah, I mean, for a new entrepreneurs or people who are looking to get into the business, it's very very important thing or mindset that you need to have. You have to just keep going and never stop.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I couldn't said it better. Thank you so much for coming on, Nikki. Pleasure peaking with you, and looking forward to following Quantic's journey beyond into the number of industries you're going to tackle next. It sounds like you're really just getting started. So thank you so much for coming on, and looking forward to following the journey.
No, thank you for having me here, and it was really nice talking to you. I really appreciate it. All
Awesome.
right, thank
Have a
you.
good one.